Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. We are here to talk about some YouTube made me buy it makeup items. Now I know that this video concept is like not new in the YouTube space. Pretty sure I've even filmed a few of these before, but you know, even though I'm a content creator, I am also a content consumer, a makeup consumer, and I can get sucked in by the hype as well. So I took a look through my collection. I just picked 10, kind of 11, but 10 items that I felt like wouldn't be in my collection if I wasn't avidly watching YouTube. Now, I'm not really someone who watches one person talk about an item and then I go out and get it immediately. It's typically several people back to back talking about videos, sucking me in, and it's happened a few times here. If you're new here, hello and welcome. My name is Kelly and I love all things makeup and beauty. I love talking, I love makeup, I love talking about makeup. So if you like to chat about makeup too, and YouTube made us buy it makeup, why don't you hit that subscribe button and let's jump into the video. Also, I tried to zoom out more than normal because I wanted you to see this super cute scarf. I did just film this look here. This should already be up on my channel using the new Hela palette from Odens in collab with Angie. But let's go ahead and jump into the makeup items that I was inspired to pick up by watching YouTube. Now, I tried not to pick like collab products where YouTube influencers collabed with brands because like that's a given. So I tried to pick just like other makeup items. So for example, this is a collab, but not with a YouTuber. It was the McGrath Bridgerton collab. Now this is the eyeshadow palette Diamond of the First Water, and if you caught one of my past grab or undecideds where I talked about this eyeshadow palette and this release, I initially said this was going to be a pass. McGrath is more expensive. I have tried her shadows, but I don't have a ton from them, and I just felt like 6-pan eyeshadow palette. I like Bridgerton, but do I really need to get the palette? And then I started watching videos. A lot of videos where people were using this eyeshadow palette. Granted, with only 6 shades, you can only create so many looks, but I loved the looks that they were creating. And I was like, you know what? I do enjoy the packaging. I do enjoy the show Bridgerton and Pat McGrath, and it's beautiful. And I liked the looks that people were creating. So I bought into the hype and I picked this up after saying I wasn't going to. Another eyeshadow palette that I definitely would not own if it were not for YouTube is this NARS palette right here. This is the Climax palette. Now this is my first NARS eyeshadow palette. I think this came out around Christmas time, and I know my friend Aileen from Emerge Beauty talked about this. I know Jamie from Jamie Trini mentioned this on Instagram, and then I saw Allie Glines talk about it. Everybody was raving about it. I knew that I hadn't tried NARS eyeshadow formula before, so I thought, you know what? These are fun shades. It's a great way for me to try out NARS eyeshadow palettes. So many people rave about this. I'm pretty sure Leah Janae mentioned that she loves this eyeshadow palette as well. So again, probably would not own this if I wasn't watching YouTube. But because so many people raved about it, it is now a part of my collection. Now, I know I said I wasn't going to talk about like influencer collabs, but I do have an influencer brand, and it is the brand Auric. This is why I said I technically have 11 products, because I'm just putting these together as one, but I definitely would not own these Auric products if I didn't watch YouTube, because you can only get them on the Auric website. And honestly, I feel like any makeup item that you have to purchase from a website, I probably wouldn't if I didn't watch YouTube, but I definitely wouldn't know about Auric or Samantha Ravindal if it weren't for YouTube. And then I heard so many people talking about these products, loving the Glow Lust, loving the Smoke Reflect. I picked them both up. I've been very open about the fact that I don't love the products, but I think it's personal preference. The Auric Glow Lust, I feel like just feels like an extra step for me. I have it on kind of as a base today. It's not really a highlighter. It doesn't work like a highlighter for me, but when I put it on as a base and then put foundation over it, It doesn't really add too much to it, so it's just kind of like an extra step. And then I did declutter the first Smoke Reflect that I had. This one is in the shade Entice, so it was that olive shade that came out around Christmas time, and I'm like definitely into olive tones, so I thought, you know what, let me try it again. Maybe it'll be something that's quick and easy that I'll find myself using and reaching for, but I don't really enjoy applying my makeup with my hands, and that's kind of what this product is for. So not a huge fan of this brand, but I do have some of her products. I do like Samantha Ravindal. However, I definitely would not own these if I didn't know who she was. Let's get into a couple foundations. First of all, never would I ever purchase any Tom Ford product if I was not on YouTube, because their products are so expensive. But this is the Traceless Soft Matte Foundation. Now, I heard Charlotte Holdcroft raving about this foundation over and over again, and as someone who has dry skin, I typically look for more like dewy, hydrating foundations, but I know she said that this wasn't a flat matte and it didn't feel like very drying on the skin. And then I heard a couple other people talk about it. I know Mel Thompson filmed a video on it, and I just decided, you know what? Smegs and I were hanging out one day, watching some videos. She purchased it, and a while later, when Sephora had a 20% off sale, I decided to get it as well. But this is an $88 foundation. So even though I got it on sale, it's still so expensive. And honestly, if I was not familiar with YouTube, I do not think I would be spending that kind of money on a foundation when I have others in my collection. We'll just go right into the next foundation. It is the Charlotte's Beautiful Skin Foundation. Now I have to say, I did jump on this pretty quickly, but I heard about it through YouTube. And then I did find that I was watching YouTube videos on it, and as I saw people talking about this product and saying that they felt like it gave them some luminosity and it was very natural looking and very comfortable on the skin, I was like, you know what? Those are claims that I'm a fan of. I can get down with that. I want to try this product out, and then I did go ahead and purchase it myself, and I do really enjoy this foundation. But again, Charlotte Tilbury comes with a pretty hefty price tag, and not to say that I wouldn't ever purchase this if I didn't watch YouTube and I was just like in the store getting it, but because I picked it up shortly after it released, I don't think that's something that I would have done or even known about if I wasn't an avid YouTube consumer. Y'all, I have a concealer to share. This concealer is so hyped up on YouTube. So hyped up on YouTube. This is the Kosas, what is it called? Revealer Concealer. I have the shade 3W. I have heard so many people raving about this concealer that when I used up my Pat McGrath concealer, I decided I'm gonna try the Kosas. I know my friend Emily from Emily's Makeup Bag really loves it. I think Chelsea from Glam Girl Chelsea really loves the Kosas line. And I was like, okay, I wanna see what the hype is about. And it is a good concealer, it works well, but I mean, a concealer is a concealer. I used drugstore concealers for so long that it was just honestly pure curiosity that made me pick this up. I don't regret it. It's a good concealer. You can see I've used quite a bit, but definitely bought into the YouTube hype with this one. Another Pat McGrath product that I do not believe I would own if it weren't for YouTube is this Blush and Glow Trio. So this one is in Galactic Sun. So you do have this blush in Divine Rose, Desert Orchid, and the Golden Nectar Highlight. These trios are pretty pricey. I know Pat McGrath is known for her eyeshadows, but people were asking for blushes for so long. When she finally came out with blushes, there was a ton of hype over them. A ton of people were raving about them. I went out and purchased Nymphette. I really enjoyed the formula. So because of that, I went on to purchase this trio because I do really enjoy her packaging. I think she has really fun, creative packaging. It looks beautiful when it's being stored. Sorry if that cut weird. My battery died and I had to swap it out, but I do enjoy her blush formula. I think it's great. I just don't think that I would have purchased this trio if it weren't for me watching YouTube videos, hearing about the blushes. I honestly probably wouldn't have even tried her blushes at all, but I do really enjoy this trio and I'm glad that it's in my collection. I have two lip products. Now I have to say, I am not new to the NYX Butter Glosses and their formula. I have tried them out in the past and I've really enjoyed them, But I don't think this is a shade that I would have tried just by looking at it. This is in the shade Cinnamon Roll. Let me do a little swatch for you. So I heard so many people talking about this Cinnamon Roll shade, and then there was like, I don't know if it was a debate or just a conversation about NYX like reformulating this particular shade, and there's like a new shade and an old shade. One of them you get at Ulta, one of them you get at Target. I don't know if I got the new shade or the old shade. I think I got this at Ulta, but I got it because I wanted to see what all of the hype was about. I already knew I liked the Butter Gloss formula. I have to say I've only worn this particular shade one time, and for good reason. I don't think I would have picked this up if my curiosity wasn't piqued by YouTube, because I don't think this is really my color. I'm not wearing it today, but when I do wear it, I don't think it's like a favorite shade for me. So definitely curiosity killed the cat with this one. And then another lip product is the Lawless Forget the Filler Lip Gloss. I got this in a holiday set. There was a trio. I have one of them at work. I gave one to Smags. This one is the Velvet shade. I think that's what it's called, but I'm not a huge gloss person, so I don't really have a ton of glosses in my collection. You can't even really see it. It's like a pinky gloss. But I definitely got this one because so many people were raving about it. I know Samantha March really likes the Lawless lip glosses, but I heard a couple other people rave about it too. So when I saw the little holiday trio and people were saying they loved these and they were super hydrating and super comfortable on the lips, I was like, you know what? Again, curiosity got me here. I wanted to know what the hype was all about. And I mean, it's good for a gloss, but I'm not a gloss girl. But it's still good for a gloss. And the last product is another Pat McGrath product, and for sure, 100%, I would not have picked this up if it were not for YouTube, because it's one of her big old highlighters. This is the Skin Fetish Sublime Skin Highlighter in Lunar Nude, and I think this is the one that came out at Christmas time. It has the beautiful embossing on it, but this was like $60 or something insane. People were going out and purchasing it. They were raving about it. They said they loved it. The only reason why I picked it up is because, again, so many people were raving about it that when I saw it go on sale for like half off, it was like $35. I was like, I'm curious. I want to know. I think it's stunning. I mean, absolutely beautiful. The packaging is beautiful. The embossing is beautiful. The shade is beautiful. I'm not wearing it today, so I don't know why I'm showing you my cheek. But again, if it weren't for YouTube, there's no way I would have even considered this because it's so expensive, but I heard so many people say over and over that they loved it that I was interested. I was curious, so I went and picked it up. But that's gonna do it for this video. Those are just 10 or 11 products that YouTube definitely inspired me to buy. If you are like me and you get sucked in by the hype of YouTube, let me know in the comments down below some of the makeup items that you picked up. If I inspired you to pick up some makeup items, I would love to know. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you're subscribed before you go. That way I can see you in the next one.